What's up, guys? So, real quick, I just had a discussion with some people in a group that I'm in with some higher level gym owners, and I thought it was actually a pretty profound thought that I was able to articulate during this conversation. So, I'm extremely guilty of this. When I go to market, and this has happened over time. I remember when Instagram came out. I mean, I was a teenager at that time, but I assumed that it was a more younger crowd. Snapchat came out, it was a much younger crowd, and then now TikTok has come out, and it's a much younger crowd. And recently, I have started to advertise on TikTok. Kind of overcoming those beliefs, just taking that out the window and just trying it and see what happened. And I've had immense success, $2-3 leads on there. And what this discussion was about was they were doing the same thing I was doing and assuming that it's only younger people and immediately writing it off. And during this discussion, a very profound thought came up that I think we log on to these platforms and see a much younger crowd. These are the popular ones, these are the famous ones, and that's what we're fed with. That's what we see when we're scrolling on these things. So we immediately assume that the demographic on these platforms is young. But, being almost 30 myself, I noticed that I'm not famous on TikTok. And, we'll scroll through and we'll see some random ones pop up with maybe 1 or 2 likes. And we're just like, oh, they're not famous, keep moving. But if you just take a step back and actually think about, for every famous person, there's probably 2 or 3, maybe even more people that are not famous on TikTok. And that demographic isn't necessarily the same age. We have a lot of people that go on there and just scroll. I don't try to make content on TikTok, and I'm sure there are a lot of other people who just do it to scroll. And I think it's safe to assume that most of those people can be of all ages. They don't necessarily need to be younger. So hopping on a platform and seeing somebody younger, I think mentally you assume that everyone else is. But I think that's false, because until some higher age demographic people become more famous on there and start to level out the playing field, I don't think that connection will be there, although they're already there, if you're following what I'm saying. So let's just say most people, 35 and older, are probably sleepers until they start to become, some random people start to become famous, and then we'll start to associate that demographic with being normal on that platform. Okay, and not the other way around. And so I think if you treat it knowing that the sleepers, the ones that you don't see, are still on there, and those are the ones that will engage with your content because that's who you're marketing to, you just have to have your ad reflect the proper format for the platform. But your message is the same message. We want to lose weight, get in shape, reduce stress, increase confidence. It doesn't matter who you're talking to. Somebody 20 years old can have that same problem as somebody 60 years old. That doesn't change with your age, but the way that you advertise needs to change and needs to adapt to your platform. And if you don't make it match with your platform, it's going to look inorganic, and then people are going to go because immediately they get red flags like this is an ad. But that has nothing to do with if there's 40, 35-year-old people on a platform or not. Okay, so that's something I was definitely guilty of, and I think that leap of faith happened and it all worked out. But I think now it should be solidified that just assume that there's people on there of all ages. They just haven't become famous yet to the point to where you see it and start to associate them with being a typical age group on that platform. Hope that helps. See you later.